Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Pain Scale, where today I'm going to talk to you about why you should not settle and why most people will tell you to settle. Um, and let's just jump straight into it. What is settling? I can't get anything better, so I'll just stay here. You know, that's not a definition version of what settle or settling means. Um, I believe that's just the reality of it. Everybody says, there's two sides of a story. I believe it is. It's like there's everybody's version and then there's the truth. But then there's a third side of that. What's the third side? It's the reality of the situation, the reality of everything. You need to start taking the reality of everything in with everything that happens in a situation. But back to not settling. Recently, I just realized I just felt like my whole life I was settling, whether that was, when I went to school, I had to hang out with all these people. I did not like throughout my entire school career, which I went K through 12. I graduated from high school. I don't have a single friend from that time that I can speak of. You know, I say like if you ask, my aunt, it's like, oh, like these people still try to talk. The thing is, the reality is, it's like I didn't want to talk to them, you know. And it's like my aunt, I understand she wants what's best for me, so it's like you like hang out with these people, they could make you maybe meet like a girlfriend or something through these people, or you could even maybe get something nice like a job through them or something like that. It's like I can't do that. I know what my aunt was saying. She had best intentions for me, but it's like I cannot do something like that. Like that to me, now to me that's settling. Some people are like, how's that settling? Like if you be friends with some people, they could maybe get you a new job or something, or like you could meet a girlfriend there. That sounds really good. It's just they are just not my type. I guess it's like I've never been in a relationship before, but I believe with everything, I guess people have like their types. With me, I at this point in my life, I want very authentic, no bullshit, just down to earth people in my life, and it's like I I'm taking a break from everything, like past relationship stuff. I really need to find myself first, and then maybe I will go back to my old relationships, like friends or something. Maybe I say maybe because I'm at the point in my life now where it's like, I'm going to take a look at everything, and if it does not fit, I'm moving on. Some people will say like, "Oh wow, that sounds really bad. Like you're just gonna move on from people." Yeah, it happens all the time. People change. I've changed. People out there, you have changed. If you're watching, some of the people who are watching right now, you probably have changed from the person you were. There is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong from moving on from people, whether that be family. Yes, family. Let me put that down first. You can move on from family, cut them off if they're toxic. Hey, I support you 100%. Friends, same thing. Significant others, cut if it's toxic. If it doesn't make you happy, feel free to leave. It's just people should feel that way. Some people might say, oh, like, that sounds very narcissistic. No, it's not narcissistic. If you are not happy somewhere, you have to move on to be happy. And even if you're by yourself, it's like I've never been in a relationship. I've gone literally years without having friends. Um, and at this point in my life, I've truly learned to be my own best friend, which you should do too. Learn how to be your own best friend, because it's like you will always 100% in this life, the number one person you will be with every day throughout your life is yourself. And some people, I guess some people might have issues accepting that, because it's like they're probably like, oh, that sounds like a sad existence. Like I don't have a wife, I don't have kids. It's like you don't need all that stuff. I don't want to have kids. Not in this life. The shit that I've gone through in this life, I would never bring a kid into this world knowing what the shit they could go through and seeing other shit, what seeing what other people have gone through in this life. I would never bring a child into this world. To me, bringing a child into this world is irresponsible. Looking at the state of humanity in its current form and even in its past form, it's like, why would you want to bring a kid into this world? Like, human beings are so, like, to me, to some people, I used to go to religious school. Hated it. Hate religious school. I don't believe. Trust me, I don't believe in God. Trust me. If you couldn't tell by the way I talk, I do not believe in God. um, um, but yeah, it's like it's just. Whew, it's like it says. Sorry, I'm getting a lot as I'm talking. I'm getting a lot out too. But yeah, it's like let me let me bring it back to a point. Just do not settle in this life. You know, and it's like some people are called out for, oh, you haven't tried enough or something like that. It's like, you can only try enough as much as you care. If you don't care about a relationship, that goes for again any type of relationship. People would say relationship, they think like, oh, boyfriend, girlfriend, significant, all that stuff. Relationship, it's family, friends, significant other. I don't consider these relationships, but acquaintances, and I know there's all those little like, oh, like friend of a friend. Like I don't consider those relationships. Those are just kind of like one-off meetings at times. Yeah, but it's like, if you are not happy somewhere, please feel free to move on. It's like I believe, you know, if there's I believe, this is we have one life. This is it. I think this is it. Um I believe, when we die, if I believe in it, I believe in nature. We go back to nature, we feed it in some way, whether that's through our bodies or some other way, our energy going back to the universe. That's all I believe. But I believe this is it, you know. So, if you have anything you feel like holding you back, especially like if like I know there's like cultural things, like I know like some cultures like they might have like prearranged marriage. I'm not for sure if that's a thing. I haven't done my research on that, but I've heard of those types of things like prearranged marriages and stuff like that. It's like, it's like forget that shit. If you feel like you won't be happy with somebody, feel free to leave the situation. It's like, oh, my family would disown me. Let them disown you. Because that means, you know what that means? That means they never unconditionally loved you. It was always conditional, which I believe that's, for human beings, at least that's a big thing is like at base, a majority of people are very conditional. Like if you're not serving them in some way or form, they might speak to you once and then they're gone. You know, and it's like, but then they will come back if you can do something for them at a later point. They will come back and they will stick around. So it's like those are the type of people you don't want in your life. Is the type of shit, those conditional relationships and stuff like that. It's just and honestly, I don't want to get me myself. I don't want to get married because it's like a wide belief, like, oh, like, you're there to keep, like, basic, husband and wife, you're there to keep, each other happy, or you love each other, to the very end. In reality, that's not the truth. Some people, they always say to death do us part, but married for 20, 30, 40, 50 years down the line, it's like, oh, hey, divorce. So it's like it's over. So it's like, don't let, if you, especially if you have like anything like cultural, that those believe, I don't believe in culture, like culture, like, when the earth was created, like, when the earth was still like a primordial stew and all this shit and stuff was still evolving, there was no culture. Let's be real about it. There was no culture. So it's like, don't let, the idea of culture hold you back, or, something like that, or like some people say like, oh, I don't date, like this, this race of person, like this black, I don't date black, white, Asian, Hispanic, stuff. That's that's racist right there. It's like, oh, I wouldn't date so like so you wouldn't date somebody if somebody really, really loved you and like you had a lot in common and stuff and like it could be your best friend, you wouldn't date them if if that opportunity came up, it's like it's just that's racism. If you don't date this type, this type, this type, that's racism. And parents will teach their kids, oh, don't date black or Asian, Hispanic, white, all this. That's racism. That's toxic parenting right there to the highest extent. Is teaching your kids that they should not date, outside of their race. That's racism right there. So fuck, fuck that shit, Um, but yeah, it's like it's sorry, I know that wasn't about that could be that whole topic could be a whole video in itself, but back to not settling, dude, again, yeah, I've said this probably five times, maybe 4 or 5 times by now, but yeah, just in anything in life, do not settle if you're not happy, even at a job. Some people say, oh well, it gives me money. If you're not happy at a job, feel free to leave it. Like I've done that too. Shit, like my last job, it's like my mental health alone, like it just like it really tanked there. Like if my mental health was already really bad, it still is pretty bad. But it's like at that job, it's like it tanked. Like it went down really bad. Like it's just I didn't feel like I was doing anything, and it's like looking back now, it's like I worked in retail. It's like oh shit, I was contributing to like over consumer and like I was just a stalker, but sometimes like I would help people find like find little things and stuff like wow, like like why I don't want to work. I would never work for retail again. It's just money. I can't work for money anymore. That's one of my not settle moments. I cannot work just for money anymore. It's hard to for me at least. It's like, it's like I want to do something that can legitimately help people. And that's why, the pain circle, sorry, the pain scale. The reason why I created this channel is because I wanted to go into topics, that people aren't willing to really jump into or talk about is because I believe, that can help people, going down, even if I at some point like I have to go down like a rabbit hole, something like that, it's like I will go down that rabbit hole willingly. But, I made this channel, not only to, help inform people, but to help people if I can in some way, sometimes I'm well, sorry, I shouldn't say sometimes. I really this whole channel I want to be brutally honest, like 100% of the time, So I'm not playing around with this. So, but yeah, again, it's in back to our main subject matter. It's like you know, don't settle for anybody. Not even for yourself. If yourself wants to settle on something, always question it, like is this right for me? And then if you consciously can say back to yourself like no, this is not right for me, again, feel free to leave, because you cannot stay in a situation, whatever it is. Life is I guess is a series of situations, like where you live, where people work, what people do, stuff like that. It's really a lot of those situations just are not worth it. And what is worth in those situations is just to walk away from them, you know. So, feel again, if something does not feel right, if you feel that you can make, better friends, stuff like that, it's like I can't it's it's hard for me to make friends, and I know there's other people out there it's very hard to make friends. I'm an introvert. um my choice of company is books. books, video games, television, movies, stuff like that. Stuff that really, stuff I really like to do. And sometimes I just like to be quiet. I just like to stay in my room and just be quiet. Just silence. That's some people say like, oh, they can't do silence. Silence to me is bliss. Like I know a lot of people didn't like lockdown, which some people might get pissed off of this, but I've seen quite a few memes, and they have a T-shirt which I think I might want to get. Says "Bring back lockdown, people suck." I 100% agree with that. I 100% agree with that statement. So people do suck. When we're talking about humanity, human beings in general, human beings are just sucky. Is the best thing to say. Some people I see, at times, which I really like. I saw somebody who had like a sticker on their car that says, "I'm voting for like the meteor that's gonna hit the planet" or something like that. It's like, yeah, I would vote for that meteor too, because it's just being a human being is just so fucking stressful. And on top of that, again, people want you to settle on things. Like, oh, you can't find better, so just take this, you could possibly be happy. And that's it. To me, that's just not reality. You got to do what you got to do. So, but yeah. Whew. I'm going to end this off right here. Thank you very much. This was the pain scale again. If you are tuning in, thank you very much. If you do have any questions for me, if you do have any um, or if there are any oppositions out there, you know, feel free to comment too. Say why you don't agree with me. I'm not afraid of opposition. I believe I mentioned that in my first video. It's like I look for I'm the ultimate op. I'm that should be my nickname. If I was a pro wrestler, it would be my nickname, or if I was a mixed martial arts fighter, it'd be the ultimate op, because that's who I am. I argue against things. I argue against other people. And I definitely call out stupid shit. That's another point of why this channel exists, to call out stupid shit. So, um, yeah. Again, thank you very much if you're tuning in on this. This was the pain scale. Have a good one.